What is happening, great people in all of the great lands? It's your favorite fantasy football homeboys in the house. Y'all already know what it is. We're here to break down the Week 6 reaction show from the early Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon games. Before we break down Sunday Night Football here on the Fantasy Football Show. So, we'll dive into how the 1 o'clock games went in general. It will have to start out with some of the injuries that, kind of impacted in general on the slate alone. And we'll get to that. But first and foremost, Colts win in ugly fashion versus an old friend. Jacoby Brissett into the starting lineup for Kyler Murray, who we got to find out what more about this Liz Frank injury is going to be. But that being said, Jacoby Brissett came out and did his thing a bit. Again, Cardinals were a 9.5-point underdog heading into Indianapolis. But the Colts coming down to the wire, just making things happen. Jonathan Taylor, obviously. Vanilla Vic, we like to call him on the channel. Just getting it done. So Colts get the victory, 31-27. And what do you think about this game, Johnny? Do we think the Colts are definitely for real now? Or is it more like, hey, they were kind of lackadaisical at first or whatever, then kind of like, oh, Kyler Murray's out, we definitely going to be getting this thing, and then it's their expectation. But what do you say to this game? And then if Kyler Murray's out for a while, can Jacoby Brissett be somebody that is startable moving forward?
I think Jacoby Brissett is just it's in spurts for him. Like we've seen this last year. It's in spurts for him. I think this was just like a perfect matchup for him. I think this was an opportunity for him to go out and lead the the Cardinals, because that's one of the things like they definitely need is I feel like they need like a real actual leader. And Kyler Murray, just from things that you read online and just stuff that you hear out and about that's not necessarily his demeanor. And this is obviously like a big game for them, like a game that, they needed to win, right? Like, I think they could see what's happening in the NFC West with the Seattle Seahawks and obviously San Francisco 49ers and the Rams. Like, it's a really good division. So I just think this was a game, right, that they let one slip through their hands last week against Tennessee, and they didn't want to have the same thing happen against Indianapolis. And they played Indy tough, right? Like, we see it a lot when there's a quarterback change. It rejuvenates teams, right? So I think that's really just more or less like what happened in that space. And then the Colts, I think just more credit to them right there, right? Good teams always find a way to win. It's the NFL, and they found a way to win. And Jacoby Brissett, talking about him, man, QB5 so far on the week with that performance. Definitely did not have that in the deck of cards from like a DFS side of the world or even from a prop side of the world. But hey, man, the Colts found a way to win at home. It was ugly. But yeah, I have no hate at all towards the Indianapolis Colts. Definitely a big game from them. And Jonathan Taylor continues, his terrorizing the entire NFL, 123 yards and 1 touchdown today. So yeah, definitely a great game from him. And I'll even say from Daniel Jones as well. It looks like he gave us probably somewhere in between. I'm trying to find him here. I can't find him in the rankings here, as far as the performance goes. But 212 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown as well. So that's a pretty solid day in the office for him. Oh, no wonder why I can't find him. He's QB3 so far. That's why I couldn't find him. I'm like, geez, what am I missing? Yeah, so QB3 so far on the week.
Yep. So far, we still got a good amount of quarterbacks left, but I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones doing, Daniel Jones things, just being able to, threw 2 touchdown passes, scored 1 rushing. It's just Daniel Jones is seeing, these back-to-back weeks of at least I take that back. He's been able to still throw the football good enough, but it's something where it's I don't know, man. I don't want to say I'm not convinced.
I mean, we're almost halfway through the season. We're almost halfway.
I think the true test comes next week in LA against the Chargers.
I mean, he put up not to drag it out, man, but he put up a QB5 performance against the Broncos back in week 2. So he's had so he's had 3 games out of his 6 so far. He's ranked in the top 5 as far as positional ranking. So I think he's here to stay.
I just want to see it one more time. Do it against the Chargers, and then you'll definitely have the wherewithal of all right, if you're, mingling around with certain quarterbacks, then I think Daniel Jones could start. I just wish that we had a bit more rushing upside from him consistently from a yardage perspective, but it is what it is. I know he's somewhat limited these days with the whole he had his, remember he tore his ACL a couple years back, so that's probably it there too. But again, yeah, solid performance once again for Daniel Jones. Obviously all the quarterbacks haven't played yet, so let's see. But again, kudos to them for kind of bouncing back and kind of getting back on track somewhat throughout this game. Oh man, I'll get to that news. That sucks. Chargers sweat out a win, like we kind of predicted on the show earlier today. Chargers win the game 29-27. Miami covers the points. And we definitely thought there was going to be a game in which, again, West Coast, East Coast teams sometimes, again, for the Chargers, because they dealt with a similar situation a few weeks back when they lost the game against the Giants. So them going to Miami, it was definitely a back and forth game, and Chargers get the win here. They somewhat needed that to kind of get themselves a little bit more of a bounce. Kamani Vidal. It was announced that Haskins was going to be a starter, and then you kind of knew, you had a feeling that, it was still the hot hand situation when it came to both of those dudes. So it was just going to, would have been surprising if Haskins, but he wasn't that type of guy. But again, look, Vidal, I gotta look at the tape again when I get a chance to watch the full game about Vidal and his touches. But man, again, 138 total yards, a touchdown, 3 catches. Is this the Vidal that people, is this the Vidal we've been wanting all this time? It just took an extra year because of the post-hype stuff. You see that all the time, or was it again the Chargers obviously moving the football constantly in this contest because Miami's defense is bleh, right? So what are you saying? And then what are you saying to Miami's loss in this matchup too?
Well, this was my upset of the week. I thought the Dolphins would be able to pull this one out here. I definitely thought it would be a close game, but this just felt like, for me, this felt like a game that the Dolphins had a chance to win, and they definitely had a chance to win if they were able to, to capture that sack on Justin Herbert at the end of the game. And then obviously that didn't happen, but we talked about it this morning, man, right? If you get the running back correct, for the Chargers, whoever it was going against this Dolphins run defense, it would benefit. And Kamani Vidal, it did benefit today, 124 yards, like you mentioned, in that space. Talked about Ladd McConkey having another pop-off game, and he did, obviously, with the absence of Quentin Johnston today. Devon Achane made up for the for the poor performance that he had last week.
Wait, say that again? Say it again?
He made up for the poor performance that he had last week. He made up for the poor performance that he had from last week with 2 touchdowns and 128 yards, which, obviously it's good to see him in the rushing game for sure, being able to get that as a runner. So there was that. Keenan Allen came back down to earth a little bit today, only 27 yards on 4 catches. So I think that's something for us to kind of keep an eye on. Justin Herbert. Again, oh my God, this guy, Justin Herbert of 264 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We'll be rude to our guest here, all right, John?
Yeah.
Aaron has graced us with his presence. Aaron, what up, my guy? Yes, thank you. One of my favorite podcasts. Oh, you warmed my heart.
Oh my
God. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, Aaron, if you got anything you want us to go over,
don't even.
Please like the video while you're at it. And again, anything goes here, my guy. Anything.
Yeah, no. So we got that right there, and then so moving on to the next game, man. I think it's safe to say Drake May has officially arrived. Definitely like the pace up spot. Talked about it this morning. A lot of people were on Steph Diggs, and Steph Diggs was not the guy to be on. It was Mr. Booty, as you talked about this morning. So that was definitely a good call. Definitely a good call on your part, for sure. Not owned aggressively at all, but definitely a pace-up spot.
3,800.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming sooner or later because, again, people were all over his junk, several weeks ago off the waiver wire. And I said it. I was like, why are people falling in love with Kayshawn? Because of he's just one of those guys that he's gonna appear and then disappear. And what did he do for like 3 or 4 weeks? He disappeared. But then obviously the home, going back home, LSU is his home place. This is the third, whatever. So yeah, it just made too much sense.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good narrative for sure. 93 yards and 2 touchdowns for him on the day. And that game again, man, like New Orleans, talked about it again. New Orleans, I didn't think this was a slam dunk for New England. I definitely thought it was a place where New Orleans could definitely be around, and they were. Spencer Rattler, no touchdowns, no interceptions today, so he didn't hurt. Saints are still struggling in the running game. At some point, that's got to get addressed. And Olave, 98 yards. He had one play I seen where it went right through his fingertips. It could have been the one that could have busted everything open for him. And your favorite vulture is back now. Taysom Hill scoring his first touchdown of the season. So things are definitely, they're even more convoluted now in New Orleans now with this. But now all of a sudden you look up, man, and the Patriots, if the Falcons are able to pull off a double Monday Night Football, all of a sudden, man, the New England Patriots are in first place in the AFC East. And that's not exactly how we had things mapped out to start the summer.
Nope. I thought the Patriots were an interesting team to watch out for because of everything coming together. Did I think they were going to be top of division? No. We'll have to find out if that, crystallizes after Monday night. But yeah, Drake May, we were calling this one. I was calling this one in terms of the potential breakout that Drake May can pull on the scene. And so far, so great because he hasn't really even unlocked his rushing abilities yet. He's really just doing it with the arm. And it's just more impressive just to watch it from, arm perspective from May. So definitely kudos to the fucking Patriots. And they're doing it and they're just taking it a game at a time, and May just keeps on improving. It's looking almost like Bo Nix down the stretch last year a little bit. So definitely kudos to him. Johnny, what's due here.
Yeah, man. Yeah. First place in the AFC North by a mile. It's at this point, it seems got Thursday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. Had a couple injuries, man. A little bit later on in the game, Joey Porter Jr. got dinged up a little bit. Darius Slay, old man Slay. But this defense, man, I definitely want to shout them out, man, because they showed up to play. I was nervous about this game with Quinshon Judkins, but they held him to 36 yards. Today, they really controlled the field. They controlled the game the entire game, man. Running the football was some things that definitely popped, although none of these numbers are really great. This is just a classic AFC North football game for sure. Multiple sacks on the defensive side for the Steelers, getting to Dylan Gabriel. Aaron Rodgers, again, one of the things I talked about all offseason long was, people were like, well, how do you feel about him as your quarterback? And I said it, and I'll continue to keep saying it. In an Arthur Smith offense, you just have to be able to manage. And I think Aaron Rodgers, even still at this age, is still very, 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 very capable of managing a football game, making sure, his team is in the right play, et cetera, et cetera. So that was good to see. DK Metcalf continues to pay off his price tag as he's a one-man show out there as far as wide receivers go for the Steelers, 95 yards and a touch. So that's again, man, not the greatest day from a sports betting and DFS side of the world for sure. But to see the Pittsburgh Steelers handle business the way that they did against, again, a respectable opponent in the Cleveland Browns defensively, specifically, definitely a good feeling. So we just got to get ready to lock things up on Thursday night going against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was this is a game that sometimes division games can be very trap games. And it was looking Pittsburgh just wasn't moving the football really well early on. The good news is that we're getting field goals and keeping Cleveland out of these scoring opportunities. So, you guys handle business. So that's, the Ravens, we'll get to that. But the division looks crazy right now, to be honest. So the Steelers are just,
keep on chugging away, baby. Hey, nobody's talking about it. Just the way Coach T likes it, just the way I like it, man. No publicity, baby. Just keep doing the dirty work.
Double R. Rico's revenge, right?
Yeah.
Woo! Yep. And this could have definitely blown up in everybody's face in a sense, but Rico Dowdle, man,
Yeah,
he looking like a bad man right now.
yep,
He totally gashed Dallas today.
yep,
Totally gashed them.
yep.
And the thing was, like, I guess the biggest thing I take away from this is that, what happens when Chuba Hubbard comes back? Because Chuba Hubbard wasn't doing anything like this behind this offensive line. And this back-to-back games of Rico Dowdle going over 150 rushing yards.
Yeah,
Back-to-back games?
I think like it's gonna be
games.
Yeah, it's gonna be next week. Next week is gonna be the tail sign. Like whether Chuba Hubbard's back or not. Like I think me personally, and again, hey man, I'm just a C+ podcaster. I think like you have to look at you have to look at the competition that they played against, right? The competition they played against, the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like those are the two worst run defenses in the NFL, in my opinion. Yep. So I think it's just to kind of put it in perspective, you have to see what happens against a more formidable opponent. However, though, like obviously the Carolina Panthers don't look down, man. They're 2-3. Bryce Young threw 3 touchdowns today, which is again crazy, man. So he had that. We already know what Rico did today, so that was huge. One of the things, again, man, I talked about it, this morning, Sunday morning, was that
crazy.
Javonte Williams was a trap today. He was a trap, and I knew he was a trap because the Panthers and what they do against running backs, they do a good job against running backs, and they did a really good job today against Javonte Williams. However, they were not able to stop one crazy man, George Pickens, out there just going absolutely hammer time with 168 yards and 1 touchdown. I didn't even tell you this, man. I was like, oh, well, it's like I'll just throw something in there, man. I had a TD parlay. I had Jake Ferguson, JSN, Brian Thomas Jr., and oh man, there was somebody else I had. But anyways, dude, they all hit, like this all hits in the first quarter. And I have Devontae Adams sitting there, and I'm like, all right, like I can cash out. I'm like, I can cash out at like $250. I'm like, or I can just let this ride. It was like, it would have been like $2,000, but like at that point, if Adams would have got the touchdown, I would have cashed out because I had Dobbs in there too. But I was like, no, okay. Yeah, but I was like, but if Adams catches one, I was like, I'm just gonna cash out. Obviously he didn't, man. So I was like, yeah, of course, great. But yeah, so again, man, like that.
Yeah, I'm getting so greedy, I guess,
Man, listen. I don't even think that was greedy, man. That's just like, like there's at that point, man, like the Rams, it was still 3/4 of football left. Like there's a lot that can happen,
Totally. That's true.
Yeah. But Dak Prescott, man, like continuing to keep things rolling, like from the fantasy side of things, 261 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's hot, man. Like he's hot and he's rolling.
Not a heater.
There's nothing for me to say in that space. Hey man, like he's cooking, bro. Like he's cooking. I mean, yeah, I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Without CeeDee Lamb too, he cooked.
Listen, man. The only thing I have to show from that is George Pickens. So like I said, man, you can love a receiver and not a quarterback, but fantasy wise, Dak Prescott is definitely cooking, man, for sure. So yeah. Then speaking of guys that have been cooking, man. Seattle Seahawks, bro. Seattle Seahawks, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, JSN, bro, like he yeah.
He's like
he might be him, I mean, we'll get to why. We'll probably get to why later, but he's definitely him right now. JSN, man, like really just frying people up no matter who it is now. And they get the win here on the road. We call that as well. So hopefully people took that. But in terms of Smith and Jigba, like, this dude's cooking. He's a number 4 receiver overall right now. As far as receivers go. And so far, obviously, he's a wide receiver 2 on the week so far. So yeah, I mean, look, JSN got one more week. It's going to be a true test against Houston's secondary next week. And then they get the bye. So JSN, like, if you got him, like, yeah, he ain't going nowhere unless you're, he ain't going nowhere if you got him. Because it just continues to keep happening. But what worries me right now is this run game for Seattle. Despite them getting the win, man, this run game for them is looking weird, y'all. Like, what is going on? What are you seeing right now? Because, like, for me, I'm like, what is happening? Like,
I don't think
this talk about getting zone runs and everything, stuff like that, and you're kind of not even really even doing that.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's just, again, like who they've played over the last couple of weeks. Like they played the Cardinals and talked about like the Cardinals for all the blemishes that they have defensively, like their team, they haven't been bad against running backs. We know what the Buccaneers typically do against, against running backs in the run defense. And Jacksonville, the performance they just put on Monday Night Football. So I don't think, I think it's one of those situations where it's not panic mode for like the run game for those guys. I think if anything, you might see something like, teams starting, or I would imagine they've been trying to take away JSN, but I would also imagine as well over the next couple of weeks, right? You should see this running game get going, and with JSN, he's the guy, man. So even if they get the run game going, that's not going to hurt him as far as from a target share side of things or anything like that. If anything, it makes him even more lethal. So I just think if you have Zach Charbonnet or Ken Walker, man, again, man, it's just a moment in time. You just got to ride the wave and look to come out on the other end of things, man. But also talking about the same game, man, Brian Thomas Jr. At least we seen some life from him today. So I thought that was pretty good. And again, man, it's one of those situations where, we kind of joking about it, for the last 2 weeks, Monday Night Football is all right, talked about that. I was I feel like that's going to happen. This is typically where these players come out to play. He had 80 yards on Monday Night Football. He had 90 today and a touchdown. He also dropped. He dropped.
I'm about to say no.
He dropped one.
He dropped it, or I thought no. A penalty got called back on Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter, I'm not sure if he held or whatever, but he called back a 57-yard touchdown for Brian Thomas today. So
that's even grosser.
It should have been a bigger day for Brian Thomas.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it should have been a bigger day today for him. So
all right. So he's here now. All right, cool. Well, thanks for showing up to the party, BTJ.
Literally. It's good to see a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I don't have a lot of them, but at the same time, it's I want to see people do well. So that being said, Jacksonville, it's just one of those situations right now where it's all right, well, ran into a team that, I don't know, this game was kind of going back and forth and kind of in a tussle battle, and Seattle just ended up kind of just pulling it out late. Yeah. Speaking of pulling things out a little bit, the Rams started off really weird, yo. The Ravens just came out, was trying to, just do whatever they could. It was nice to see Derrick Henry today. Yeah. The contrarian play of the day, you know what I'm saying? It was good to see him kind of come out and get a ton of work, them running the football a lot, but all for naught because the Rams win 17-3. And now the Ravens head into their bye week, 1-5. Ravens are 1-5 heading to their bye week.
Man, I feel so bad about that. I'm telling you, man, that sucks really bad. That's terrible.
Where's the laugh? Come on, give us the belly laugh.
No, it's just the meme.
Give him the belly laugh.
Can't even do it. I just love it. It's
your rival, bro.
No, man. No, I'm just gonna man, last week.
That can't give you a belly laugh.
No, I'm just listen, man. Still a lot of football. A lot of football still left, man. And they could very well get hot. And we don't play those guys until the end of the year, man. So that's there's still a lot of things can happen, man. But I'm not shocked that they did show up today and play hard. I thought we would see this version of the Ravens last week, but we didn't. Obviously, the Houston Texans, curb stomped them last week. Yeah. So, but them showing up today, again, not shocked by any stretch of the imagination. And it was weird to see the Rams, not really be able to move the ball against the Ravens and a lot of just really random stuff happening. And this is these are the Well, I was gonna say that for sure, but these are also the spaces too. this is where like I have like a really hard time with Matt Stafford is like, you know what I mean? Like at this stage
Yep.
of his career, like
Yeah.
not him 5 years ago or anything like, but at this stage of his career, these are the games like I have a hard time with him because I'm like, he could very easily give you a game just like this, 181-1, or this game should have been like as we thought it was going to be, like 323 and 3 or 4, you know what I mean? So but either way, man, like they pull out the win, you know, in this space here. And, you know, again, Devontae Adams cost me a little bit of money, so I'm a little bit upset about that. But like Puka Nacua and that injury, like definitely not a good day for wide receivers, man. That's for sure, bro.
It sure wasn't, because we're getting to the injuries to watch now. Along with Puka Nacua, we got to watch out for Emeka Ibuka. What's up with that hamstring now? Because he went from questionable and then to doubtful.
Yeah.
We got to keep our eyes on that. Garrett Wilson, like, obviously over the pond. Man, let him show. And then MHJ, who left with a concussion. So that one most likely he'll miss next week, if anything else, because usually concussions, you'll miss like a week for the most part. But yeah, like we gotta watch out for these injuries upcoming, because tomorrow we can get crazy news. You know what I'm saying? Like about one of these guys as well, too. So along with that, obviously, Marion Hampton, like he's going to be still on the, he's going to have a 4-game stint, but he could have a potential longer IR stint. Like, and then, it's Sunday once again.
Yep. Nope. It always listen, man, every week, man, this is what it's about, right? Is every week. And like, a lot of people that have Emeka Ibuka, like he's been carrying your fantasy football team. So like, this is a big devastating blow. Like, not to go like super crazy, but like this is like kind of like now like the changing of the guard, because now we got potentially like maybe Mike Evans is back next week, maybe George Kittle is back next week. Rashee Rice suspension is getting ready to to be up. We have Mageddon's getting ready to happen. So like there's a lot of moving parts here for fantasy managers, and obviously we'll chop that up tomorrow as well. But just like, man, like you get out of a week like this and it's like, last week it was the running backs, and then obviously no Kyler, and now this week it's the wide receivers, man. So it should make for an interesting waiver wire week, I would say.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of ways things can go right now, and we're just, honestly, I just want the receivers right now are really becoming right now the running backs of old right now. It's really getting weird, like like injury wise, like it's really unfortunate. So obviously, yeah, you got to watch out for these injuries, and then also like you said, Mike Evans could be coming back shortly. CeeDee Lamb, same thing. Like it's like also remember that there's other guys potentially coming back too that you might still be able to get via trade. So definitely watch out for that. Come check us out tomorrow night if you got any questions in regards to checking in on certain players, because that's very important too. And then we'll get down to the 3 games of the afternoon before we get to on Sunday Night Football. So the afternoon games, Raiders win ugly. We saw this. Tennessee, man, not too much to talk about in this one. They just, again, look like an inept offense that just cannot move the football enough. And Cam Ward really looking like a, baby with a pacifier in his mouth right now, offense right now. It's just looking really, really – it's looking very ugly. And I don't know what it is with him, Cam Ward rise. It's not like he can't exactly process really well. He's just making like the dumb mistakes as well. So Raiders win this game pretty handily. And from a fantasy side of things, obviously, like Michael Mayer, shout out to him for our prop today. And he was looking, not like Brock Bowers-esque, but he kind of was. But I think in terms of like how the Raiders won, it's like, I think this is classic John O'Marabell language, shit versus stink game, like So it was just, that's what it kind of was, in general. But anything else to add?
No. Ashton Jeanty found the end zone again.
Sure did.
Not very efficient, but got the job done today. So
sure did. You found Pater. Tony Pollard sucked. So yeah, it is what it is. Bengals showing a little fight, right? Showing a little bite. They still fall in this game to 27-19, but they were still in it to the very end with Flacco, and I think there's some hope there. Jamar Chase once again comes out, scores a late touchdown in the game, and Bengals were, they stopped him, in order for the Packers to get a field goal. But Cincinnati gets the next drive. They go down. They want to get the field goal for points because they only got one timeout left. McPherson misses it. So that's how it kind of handles. But from a overall perspective of fantasy, like, it was good to see T. Higgins a little bit come together in this one. Chase Brown, man, I just don't understand why you still have what really grinded my gears. The last drive was Noah Fant catching footballs and Samaje Perine catching footballs. Chase Brown not even out there. That's just, I'm kind of on full on panic mode with Chase Brown because it's like, if he's not getting any, check down, dump down work, and it could just be because Joe Flacco's still learning the offense and stuff, but it's just a big red flag now. Chase Brown is just one of those guys that right now for me, like, you just rock with, but you package him up and you take the loss on him at this point because it's just getting to a point where I don't think we'll see it. We won't see the same type of draft value you were getting for Chase Brown. So I think it's something where I'm kind of might just be cutting my losses this week on Chase Brown and kind of trying to move on because it's just looking too skeptical. It's really looking too weird for me. Am I right on this analysis, or is it something where you're kind of seeing like some hope for this situation?
No, not with Chase Brown. I'm not. I think Chase Brown is like a byproduct of Joe Burrow, right? Like that's what I think that is. I think like Jamar Chase, like, talked about it for the last 2 weeks. Like Jamar Chase, I don't want to say he's quarterback proof, but like he damn near is quarterback proof. You know what I mean? And so like that's why like I've been pretty strong on my stance about like no, like I'm not trading Jamar Chase, and I think today is just another really great example of that right there. Like, no, like you're not gonna get 150 or 160 yards and 2 touchdowns, but you might have to settle for 8 catches or 10 catches and 94 yards and a touch, which is still nothing to sneeze at all. But yeah, as far as Chase Brown goes, man, I think like he's somebody I love during the offseason process. Love. And now it just seems like, man, like he is absolutely like he's an afterthought like at this point here, and a lot of that is just because of game script. So it might be a situation where like if you do have him, like you might have to try to package him up and see what you can get for him. Maybe it's not bad to maybe, and I'm just kind of like ad-libbing, maybe it's not a bad idea to see maybe like a guy like a Kamani Vidal or something like that right there. That's just a couple of week rental, man. And maybe that window's already closed now, right? But I think like if you are a Vidal owner, you can sell high because again the Dolphins suck on defense as far as the run goes. Then Jordan Love today on flipping it over on the other side, man. 259 and 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Kind of had a feeling this would be a Josh Jacobs day, and it was 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. Definitely had that. I'm pretty sure Haywood had called out 2 touchdowns, I believe, for Josh Jacobs. So there was that. Matthew Golden, though, man, showing up to the party today. Kind of had a feeling they might want to get him involved. Had a couple of big plays. So again, man, as the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, man, continue to, to spread the ball out across the field. Good luck. If you have any of those guys playing them, like it's not a bad situation to be in, but it's not the greatest situation either. When you just have to play those guys and hope for the best. So, pretty solid day for the Green Bay Packers overall, man, and Josh Jacobs.
Totally. And then we move on to the last segment. Stay away from anything 49ers. Kendrick Bourne, man. Kendrick Bourne. Like, wow. Again, Jennings, 1 catch, 7 yards. It's like they didn't even feel like you didn't even try to get him the ball. It's crazy. Was he just a decoy? Like, what's up with that? So the kid was a Kendrick Bourne doing his thing again. Like, I picked him up in a few leagues last week. Nice little spot starts in a few of my rosters. I'm feeling pretty good about that too. But in terms of Kendrick Bourne doing his thing, as far as the Niners go, like Fred Warner dislocated his ankle. What does this do for their defense now? Because my goodness, now you lost Bosa, now you lost Warner. Like,
this is almost like part 2 of last year for these guys. It's really what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a remix.
It's almost like and the crazy part about it is the guy that's standing upright is Christian McCaffrey, the guy that like we all thought would be dead by week 2. And like to be fair, like And I think it's getting glossed over. It's getting glossed over. But again, I think he finally got he got his rushing touchdown.
Got his first rushing touchdown of the season. But that's what I was saying before. When we were talking about this morning, I was like, the rushing hasn't been there like that.
No, it hasn't been there, man.
Finally got there today. So.
Yeah, and then Mac Jones, that was I was all in on Mac Jones. The yardage was there today, 347 yards, but he had the 2 picks. So man, again, it's just one of those situations, man, where you can have the right process, man, but just go about it the wrong way. And hey, man, this is what it is, right? Definitely not gonna bat 1,000, but I would go back. I would definitely go back to a game situation like this. And now all of a sudden, man, like we talked about, now the Buccaneers now, man, if Mike Evans doesn't come back next week, if Chris Godwin doesn't come back next week, then you're looking at the little giants pretty much out here playing wide receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's another, that's something else we'll have to visit, on Monday. So, but yeah.
Although their defense played their defense stepped up today, though. You know what I'm saying? Just taking advantage of a few opportunities, especially the pick that pretty much ended the Niners drive and comeback in general. Jamel Dean, he's a playmaker. But I would say, if you don't have Mekabuka, you get news tomorrow that he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. And then it's all of a sudden now it's trying to get Mike Evans back, trying to see if Godwin's going to get back. So Cade Otton once again coming out doing good things, but it's also who else? You know what I'm saying? You had Kendrick Johnson come out and say, hey, who the heck is that?
Bro, I literally this game.
We knew about Chase Johnson, you know what I'm saying? We knew about him. We knew about Sterling Shepard and stuff, but I was like, who the heck is this guy?
No, get ready to work the waiver. Get ready.
I didn't know we were already there. I didn't know we were already at that point in the season.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Week 6.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I think the Niners still are a decent offense as long as, Trent Williams and these guys, offensive line's there. But yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't say stay away completely, but if you got Kendrick Bourne, if Ricky Pearsall's out again, you know what I'm saying? Then, yeah, Kendrick Bourne.
It's just more or less, man. Just being sarcastic crazy. Because everything, and that's just in the context of what's happened here today, man. Right, the 49ers are playing. Emeka Egbuka gets hurt. Fred Warner gets hurt. It's just every time, it just seems like they're the black cloud of the NFL when it comes to injuries, man. So this is just not a fun place to be at.
No. It's not. Just too many injuries happening right now, and it is annoying as hell. It really is. Oh my gosh, stop it. In terms of it's how kids play with their toys, and one of them's kind of I'll break it. Oh, stop it! Don't break it.
Yeah, no, bro, I live it every day. Every day.
To Sunday Night Football we go because we want to get you guys out of here, hopefully right before the game starts. Lions getting 2.5 on the road going to Kansas City, where Kansas City lost to Jacksonville on Monday Night Football 6 days ago. Here, I am going to take the Chiefs to win this one. I know the Lions, very talented from top to bottom. They've done this before going to Kansas City. They know what is his assignment there. I just think the Chiefs are going to find a way to get this done. There's certain times where you look at the line, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Detroit being a 2.5 underdog. I just think the Chiefs are going to find a way to get this done tonight because if they don't, they're going to look themselves hard in the mirror and be like, all right, we lost to Jacksonville and then now we lost to, a great team in Detroit too. It's you can't in this league, you cannot, you got to fight. You got to have some bounce back material. And the Chiefs are going to have to use that tonight and then some. So when it comes down to matchups, I think there's going to be some opportunities for receivers in this joint to really have a deep play or two. So there's a couple of longest reception lines out there that people may like or whatever. J-Mo, for instance, because, there's all it takes is one for him. There's that. But I think when it comes down to it, there's a few plays I'm going to I'll go over. But I just think just one of those gut feelings. I think Kansas City's going to get this done tonight.
Yeah, like I have Kansas City as well. Like I had them picked. I just think like it's less about the Lions and it's more about the Chiefs, like for me, because I think they know that they let one get away, and like this is also a statement game for them to prove. Like they're obviously super well aware that like the Lions are a Super Bowl contender team, right? A Super Bowl contending team. So this is just another opportunity for them to showcase that aspect of things. Like we all know about the road splits with Jameis Williams, Jameis, blah. You know what I'm saying? I can't even get it
Yep,
right.
I do.
We all know about his road splits. We also know about Jared Goff's road splits as well, although he did play really good against Green Bay earlier on in the season. So I think there's something to be said there. And J-Mo, like, he's a guy that, like, just to be quite frank, he hasn't quite lived up to fantasy expectations at this point anyway. So I think there's something to be said there. The Chiefs got to figure out like what to do in the run game, man, because like that's getting uglier and uglier by the week. You talked about longest reception prop. Tyquan Thornton he's still a guy. Like he's still a guy that's like making plays for them, right? So
Yep.
I think he's definitely in play as well. And I'm pretty sure the Lions have some injuries in the secondary as well. So I think this is definitely a spot, another spot that like I always like to just kind of highlight. And I think like this is an easy get there spot, and I'll probably throw it in. You got one of my props that I like. I won't throw it out there, but I really like that. I like that prop a lot. But I think Patrick Mahomes rushing prop again, man. Like I'm going back there again this week. Like he needs like they need to win, and like Mahomes was in the top 3 in the league in scramble rate before last week's Monday night game, so he's probably number 1 or number 2 now. So I'll go back to the 20.
He's averaging 38 rushing yards per game. So this line's a bit too low for him. So yeah, I definitely like Mahomes. Your boy Tyquan Thornton, I'm gonna take him 16.5 for the longest reception. I just don't really like playing that, but usually something happens. But I'll take the 30 yards here for receiving yards. And the last prop I like is Monty, 40 yards rushing or more. Monty, the Chiefs are susceptible against the run this year. They're 31st right now in opponent EPA per rushing attempt, and I just like Monty in this spot where, you're going to get Gibbs, obviously. You're going to get Thunder and Lightning. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're going to get the Thunder with, Monty. You're going to get the Lightning with Gibbs. So I do like both of those guys in general, but give me the guy who has a little bit more of a lower line and something where, again, you could sprinkle an anytime touchdown bet for Montgomery here as well. You might be able to get that at even money. Last time I checked, it was minus 105, I think for DraftKings. But I do think if you play an alternative or whatever, plus 105 on DraftKings right now if you want David Montgomery for anytime touchdown. So that's definitely there too. That's on the table as well. So those are the 3 I like. Tyquan Thornton, 30 receiving yards or more. We got Mahomes 25.5 rushing yards. So he needs 26 obviously, and Monty obviously 40 yards rushing. After the afternoon games today, we went 4-3. So we are 37-23 in a year. Pickens obviously crushed. Jake Ferguson falls 17 yards short, unfortunately. Baker Mayfield gets it done for us. Tyler Warren got it done for us. Michael Mayer got it done. Pollard, Sting. Chase Brown, I can't do you anymore. It's a wrap. No, it's over. Like Bengals, no, just too volatile. And that's what it is. But again, a decent day. I know Haywood got some stuff out there, and I know he used some of this stuff too. And so shout out to him and shout out to anyone else that did. But again, the three, once again, I want to show you guys that's what we got tonight for the Sunday Night Football. So, John, anything else before you let the people go?
I'm just hoping to win some money before I close my eyes tonight.
Me too.
That's it.
Like more money. I should say that.
Yeah.
People. We'll see you guys for Monday Night Football. We get the doubleheader, Monday Night Football. So we'll be here a little bit earlier. Probably 6:30 p.m. Eastern, something like that. They say check your local listings. Just check Twitter.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So that being said, me, Johnny, we out. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.